Okay, Aki and Aaron, thank you for coming today. It's been 2 years since our last video when I was talking to you at the bench and we were talking about times have changed. And today we're here with Aaron Rutledge, owner of Star Beachboys, and we're going to talk story about what's going on the beach, about where is the Beachboys, how can they get back. The contract is up with Dive Oahu. So we want to just have that conversation and get into it about how we can get the Beachboys back in Waikiki.
Okay, so yeah, their contract expired last year in May. So the city's supposed to put it out to bid, but it's been a stall. And the only reason I can think of it is as a stall is because of the price that they're paying. You know, they're paying 52.5%. So I think the city knows once it goes out to bid again, that number was ridiculous to begin with, you know, and they're not going to get that number again. So I think they're just trying to stretch it month to month as long as they can until they're going to be forced to put it out to bid. On a side note, Dive Oahu has a Hanauma Bay contract, the snorkel, and that expired in 2019 and it has not gone out to bid yet. From COVID, I could understand that there was a delay because it was probably closed half of the year, but since then, it should have gone out to bid. It's been 5 years now. And the reason for that, it has to be the same reason, is because of the dollar amount that they're paying. The city knows they're not going to get that much again.
Right.
So it's a shame that the city, especially with Waikiki concessions, that they have put money over tradition, over service as their main priority. I know the city is in it to make money, but there's some things that money shouldn't be the priority, and Waikiki Beach is one of them.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. So Aki and Aaron, you guys have known each other for years, and some of the lessons, the values from your father and all your years on the beach. I mean, I think that's another important part of this is why are the Beachboys so important? Why is it worth fighting for to keep them back on the beach?
Safety. You know, you're putting people's lives in your hands in the water. A lot of times they tell you they can't swim. So, you know, there's precautions that should be taken, but safety to me is the main concern.
Right.
You get a guy off the street that can catch a wave, and all of a sudden someone like Dive Oahu says, okay, you can be my surf instructor. Right. And then this guy's out there teaching people that he doesn't know left from right when it comes to stuff in the water.
Right.
So safety should be a priority, the top priority. And from what I've learned from him and from he learned the guys before him, you know, that's number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Safety gotta be first.
Right. Right.
And over the last few years, that has basically come last.
Yes.
And money has become first, which it should never be that way.
Yes. Yes.
When you're putting people's lives in your hands.
Right. And so my time with Aki on the beach, I've spent the last 2 years. And it's interesting because I grew up here, but moved to Seattle and since then have come back. And part of it is learning about Waikiki and what it means. But mainly spending time with Aki, I had a new relationship with the ocean. And I had a new relationship with what Aloha Spirit means. And I think the Beachboys had such a presence and a legacy that I think is as important as the safety part too, to understand that when people come here, they want an experience. If they don't feel safe, they're not going to want that experience. Nope. So knowing Aki, you know, you've had so many years on the beach and the people that love you and respect you, you know, what do you think as far as the values of what you want to see continue moving forward, that this next generation can continue with?
Well, I think that they need more the local guys on the beach.
The presence.
The older guys, they passed away already. It's the new generation. But for Tichi's new generation, you got to get one old timer for Tichi's guys the right way. Because actually, as Aaron said, safety is your first priority, which is true. Safety is the first priority. And I was on the Waikiki Advisory Committee. I am still on the committee. Somehow the governor went, let go of everything. They gave we don't need the blue card no more, you know? Yeah. So everybody went haywire. And then he opened up a can of worms to me. And like Aaron said, and I see it too, get guys out there, they don't even know how to swim. Yeah. And they teach you lessons. Yeah. And they tell you, get out of the way, but they're not supposed to even tell you, get out of the way. They're not even instructors. Yeah. And then they're doing illegal things out there. I don't know why they're out there in the first place. And they're steering the canoe as a captain. They're not even captain. They don't even know how to steer a canoe and just out there.
Yeah.
And they're running over everybody, killing everybody, you know. I mean, I wasn't taught that way. I was taught the right way. And it will take a while for get these kids. They need more leadership on the beach. That's what it is. And I wish we get back to the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of leadership, and with that comes some kind of unity, how do you propose or what do you suggest trying to get everybody together again? Because everybody's kind of on their own, trying to make a living, trying to just, do what they can, right? So do you have any suggestions? Because back then in your days, all the Beach Boys were together, and now it feels like everybody's separate. So do you have any suggestions of what that could look like?
The easy fix is putting a proper concessionaire in place. Once the concessionaire is who it should be, that's going to fix the problems, because then they're going to eliminate all of the wildcatting that's going on.
Right.
So it basically comes down to the city.
That's right.
Right.
Setting the requirements that they've always had and enforcing the requirements. You got to have requirements just to bid. And this in 2018, they eliminated it to allow more bidders to get the price up.
Right.
And as we know now, 6 years later, it backfired.
Yeah.
It didn't work out as planned.
Yeah.
So they got to just get the requirements tight, get the proper concessionaire, and that's going to eliminate all the problems.
So just having the presence alone, I think will do a lot, right?
Right
To
now,
have the
nobody
right
respects a concessionaire.
No.
Nobody respects him.
Right.
And I don't think he even cares, because he's never there himself.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think he cares. He just had a dream one day, like he posted on his Facebook, that he was at the beach, he saw these umbrellas, how much money he can make. All he wants is umbrellas.
Right. Right. I heard something like he only had one surfboard in his life, and then he went from 1 to 100.
Yep. Well, he said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And with that comes no respect, because
Yep.
how do you respect somebody
Yep.
that doesn't have the experience
Yeah.
or the wisdom?
Yep.
And I think that's partly what's missing.
And you would think 6 years later he would have learned a little bit and changed, but it's just like it got worse.
Yeah. 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 So the recourse of that, so how to move forward, so we're trying to rally up, because I think over time, right, it's been 5 years. And
Almost six.
Almost six, right?
Yeah.
So as that time goes on, trying to figure out how do we get momentum? How do we start putting it out there again that we need to keep our eye on this? It's important enough to fight to bring the Beach Boys back. And so the awareness part of this means, do people contact the city?
It's the city, yeah.
Okay,
It's ultimately the mayor's office. And he stepped in at a time where it was bad, taking over from Caldwell.
Sure.
So I think the beach was the last thing on his list, because everything else was, worse than that. But now he's been there for a few years now, so he can finally get to this part of his what he's in charge of,
right.
and correct it. And I think he would, once he realizes how it's been, and the lives it has affected, the tourism it has affected. So I think the best way is either people can contact the mayor's office. Director of Enterprise Services is somebody new now. She's in charge of the contracts, that department as well, and just find out when they're going to put the things out to bid. Are they going to change the requirements, which they have to? You know what I mean? Otherwise, we're going to get another 5 years of the same thing.
Right.
That's the people who handle it. That's the only ones that can do anything about it.
Right. So if we can propose some kind of grassroots effort to get their attention again, to start having that conversation, would that be something that would be helpful?
It would be, yes, it will be helpful. Yeah.
Okay. So Aki, you've taught me so much about the beach, and it's been great to learn from your point of view after being on the beach over 60 years. What would you like to see happen as far as what kind of values? When we talk about the beach, you always say, back in the day, everybody got along, everybody respected each other. So what are some things that you think of that other people, this younger generation, can learn from your time on the beach?
I just like to see everybody get along on the beach and work together the right way. Ours don't work at all. And be happy. It's not only the money, it's a livelihood to us guys, I like to think. The time we had the rally, me and Aaron, That time we got booted off the beach at the rally the next morning, I think. I would like to thank the west side, north, south, east, west for coming over and to help us rally. And some guys from other places came too, all the local guys. I was surprised and I was really, wow, I didn't know. I really didn't know that much.
Outside support. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, and I just, wow, that's terrific.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you. I just like to see everybody do everything the right way, not fight on the beach, not fight over one lesson. Please stop running over everybody with a canoe, killing them. I seen guys jump in the canoe, captain. They don't even know how to steer a boat for 1 year. Look at them. I said, oh my God. And I took forget my license. It took me 26 years. These guys don't even license. They don't know what is a license, you know. But that was the time I was with the DLNR a long time ago. The governor, Iggy, he'll open up a can of worms. That's all I can say. And he let everybody just let go, let loose. Even public bedside, the same thing. Everybody get audit boards all over the place, you know.
Right.
They're not supposed to be doing that either.
Right.
You know. And the grumbling about Waikiki. I mean, come on, be fair.
Right.
That's what it is. Be fair.
Right.
I mean, what's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. That's what I say. I just like be happy. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm 79 already. You know. And I get a lot of injuries too, but the buddies, you see all these kind of crackerjacks on top of the beach, then all kind of pupuli kind of stuff, and you know, I don't care if you surf 25, 30 years on a big wave, don't mean nothing.
Right.
If you can stay inside the water, canoes, in front of 300 people and give lessons without nobody getting hurt, your lessons, you're good. And that's why we have the tests. But the test is gone already.
Touching on that, with the surfing license, imagine if the city or the state takes away driver's license and says the owner of the car can let anybody they want drive if they covered insurance of what happens. That's basically what happened with the surfing license.
Right.
They're giving the person with the CUP the permit. If you have a permit, you can say who or who cannot give lessons or canoe rides.
Right.
That's basically what it is. And if I assume the responsibility for you, do all the canoe rides you want.
Right.
And you could maybe never been on a canoe in your life.
Yeah.
But go ahead, take one 35-foot, 2,000-pound canoe and see what happens.
Yeah.
As long as we get the money, you go.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically what they did.
Right. It's like taking your chances, right? And I don't think people know that.
Yeah.
You know, I think people just assume everybody is licensed, or they're not thinking about
it.
They
think it's a fun game.
Yeah.
Right.
So
No.
someone like me or like Aki I'm still going to put a licensed guy in there.
Sure.
If you never had a license, sorry, you ain't going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But someone like Dive Oahu,
Yes.
anybody.
Right.
You know, I could say this guy's not ready, and he'll go across the street and ask them for a job. Can you swim? Okay, go take the lesson.
Right.
You know.
So how does it work though? Because I know when you put in a bid, right? So when you're looking at all the things that they promised to do and they're not fulfilling those promises.
They haven't from day one.
Right. So the breach of contract issue, I mean, how does that factor into this?
It should have been breached on day one.
Right.
When you bid, there's requirements, right? And now, as the high bidder, you got 10 days to submit all your proof. And in those first 10 days, he was supposed to submit a list of all his captains. He didn't submit a list because he had nobody. But, you know, he was the high bidder. The city wanted that 1% more than what we bid.
Right.
They gave it to him. Then they gave him 6 months to get a captain. The captain failed his test. They gave him another month to get a captain. Then that's the one nobody showed up. They called the test on. They called them on a Thursday for a test on Friday. You know what I mean? And half the committee wasn't even there.
Right.
They got a license.
Wow. So it seems like that 1% costs a lot between what should have been the legacy of the Beach Boys and now this company.
It costed everything.
I mean, and it's just 1%.
1% was the difference.
Yeah, it seems like such a travesty. You know, it seems like a shameful thing that after years of being on the beach, that 1% is worth
Yep.
nothing.
It's worth nothing.
Right.
Yeah, you're supposed to open at 6 a.m., close at 6 p.m.
Right.
They open at 8, they close at 4.
Right.
And I gotta say something about Aaron's grandfather, Art Rutledge. He was a tough old man.
Yeah.
This guy, he made me think a lot. And he's the only guy, 85 years old, I see him come down the beach and ask some guy for a scrap. And when they went up for like, he was there.
Yeah.
I was cracking up, laughing. But that man, he not care. He not scared. He not scared nothing. And he's smart. And he said, "Hey boy, you want to eat ice cream? Let's go." I said, "Okay, let's go." That's his favorite ice cream. So we eat ice cream. He gave me a cone ice cream and we ate that.
Yeah.
But he was a good man, very good man. He liked Steamboat. He liked all the old timers, I noticed.
Yeah.
And he's a good man. That's all I can say.
So what do you think he would do if he were alive today?
Huh?
What do you think Art would do?
What happened in 2018 wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rutledge, Aaron is my best boss on the beach. So long, I don't know how long I've been with him, but he's my best boss. I've been with all kind of guys. This guy is different. He's right down the middle field.
Well, it sounds like it's also a matter of principle on top of just being
He get more chikara.
right, the business sense to run this organization, with Star Beach Boys. But it sounds like it's deeper to you to uphold the principles of making sure the culture of aloha stays alive.
Oh, that's it. Well, what does the shirt say?
Yeah.
Come experience aloha. Right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it.
I mean, that's what people are looking for. So when I talk to people in Seattle and I ask them about coming to Hawaii, they're like, "Oh, it was good." But I talked to them also about the years before when they met locals on the beach and they go, "Oh, it was so nice to get an experience with somebody that knew what was going on. They had a relationship."
Yeah.
So if there's any value in expressing why the Beach Boys have the means to have a relationship with people, that should be worth more than 1%.
Exactly. Yeah, that should be worth everything.
Everything.
Right.
Everything. So moving ahead, I just want to make sure that we do whatever we can to bring this to the table because it's so important as time goes on because they can get extensions on extensions.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right. So
What is happening at Harama Bay.
right.
It's been 5 years now.
Right.
And on the beach before, they said, you got to know how to hustle. Eh? We didn't know how to hustle. We know how to talk. It's how you present yourself. Now these guys, they don't know how to hustle. They don't know what is hustling.
Yeah.
They just like pick up the chicks to me, asking me, and pick up the color. But nowadays, hustling, the way they say, "Oh, you got to hustle these guys." You guys don't know what is hustling, bro. We used to hustle, yeah, but
Yeah.
not the kind of way these guys do. No.
Yeah.
Well, that was in our days.
Right.
Nowadays it's different. Everything is different,
Right.
I just wish I had aloha back again. And keep the legacy going.
Right.
Enough is enough, really. Come on.
Right.
It's 5 years stuff, That's all I can say.
Yeah, exactly. The city thought they was trying to do something for the better. They had their 5-year experiment. It's over.
Right.
And you know what I mean? It didn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, and I think another thing with the Beach Boys is they're misunderstood and underappreciated because they're not just there to teach lessons. They were regulators. They helped.
Exactly.
They helped keep the beach clean. They
Yep.
helped keep order. And
Police
I
the
think
beach.
Yes.
the city does not understand that
Nope.
these aren't just guys showing up to do, have fun and do whatever. They were so much more.
Yep.
And go ahead.
We keep the beach clean. You can't even get your girlfriends over there sometimes, That's how strict it before was,
Yeah.
I mean, the beach had to be clean.
Right.
We pick up every single cigarette butt I can see, I did that for almost 20 years.
I know.
But that guy, Rutledge, Art, tell me, what the girl doing over here? Oh, see, that's my girlfriend. Tell her to go home. That's how it was before. I'm not kidding you.
Oh, wow.
Tell her to go home, come back when you finish work. Right now you're working, get off the desk, start working. You cannot sit down with Art. You gotta move around and do something.
Yeah. Now these guys, they sit under umbrella all day. It's sitting off to the side.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when cattle call. If there's a lesson, okay, they blow the whistle. Next,
Right.
and,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like in those days there was a line and a balance between having fun and working hard.
Yeah.
And I think both still can be done, but I think by example, like you said, it's the leadership.
Yes,
right?
it starts at the top.
Having that understanding, and that's the one thing also, Aki, you taught me about is what understanding love is, right? What Beach Boys used to do, even though they didn't agree, they could still appreciate and accept each other and still move on, even if they didn't agree. And I think even for tourists coming in, there's a big difference of them coming here to have fun and coming here to understand the culture. And I think tourists don't really understand what Waikiki was before and how it was. And so how do we get that back? How do we teach people to treat our beaches with respect, to treat our people with respect? If it's getting the word out about how to be a better tourist, how to respect our beaches, respect our people and our land. And I think you guys, the Beach Boys, just used to do that naturally, right?
We didn't have to be told to do
As you
it.
said,
Yeah,
just
yeah, at different times
Yeah.
too, right?
You get errands on the way. I guarantee you everything. Malia.
Right.
Because there's a lot of guys when we had the rally said they're gonna stay with us. They never stay with us. A lot of them went across the line, but that's okay. Whatever. You
Yeah.
know? What can you say? I mean, they get wife, they get kids, and they gotta eat. And I know my wife and the kid, but I gotta eat too. But everybody different. And
Right.
Waikiki just gotta change.
Right. Well, the reality
leadership.
is we can't go back in time, right? We have to
Yeah.
evolve. We have to
Gotta move
accept
on.
where we're at today. And so the big thing is, how do we move forward? How do we embrace technology, embrace growth, but preserve the values? And I think that's the part where the city needs to understand the value of the Beach Boys, how to use them in a way that empowers locals, empowers the culture. So first things, it sounds like, is to get them back on the beach so that they're at least having a presence again. Because without that, it sounds like an uphill battle.
Yeah.
So how can people help? Like if there's people that are even outside, because now with social media, right? Are there other ways that we can help rally outside? When you talked about other people from way beyond helping, are there ways that tourists can protest or say something?
I guess the best is just contact the city.
Yeah, the State Department of Enterprises.
Yeah,
Or the
city
city-
and county
city-
enterprise services and the mayor's office directly.
Okay.
Because I'm sure he might not even know what's going on. That enterprise services might be keeping it from him
Sure.
because they don't know what to do.
Right.
Mayor's office and the enterprise services office would emails, I guess, is the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
Phone calls and ask, when is this thing coming up for bid, because the service is not being provided. The beach is not what it's supposed to be. And I think they understand that. They just don't know what to do next.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, Aaron, you've been through quite a bit trying to fight for the Beach Boys to come back.
Yeah. I got a
So,
shop
I
across the
appreciate
street close enough where I could keep everybody working.
Yes.
So that's helped a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's okay. We don't have no jurisdiction from the city. So
And
when they
then,
come, they can't tell us what to do.
Right.
It's one good thing.
Guys on the beach tell you, "Oh, I'm a beach boy." I said, "Well, really? How long you been on the beach, bro?" 1 month.
Yeah.
"Oh, you're not a beach boy, bro.
Yeah.
You're not a Cracker Jack from McDonald's."
Yeah.
Not serious. I really am serious, man. Beach boy, you don't take 1 month. No. You maybe 1 month carrying boards, yeah. And before this is long time ago now. Talking about old days. We had only 2 guys a year for tests. Now, you know how many guys get if they had the thing alive? The Waikiki board going? 40. Say, You gotta be kind of, why should I mean, anybody can catch you in wave, 2 waves, just even a monkey can go in a wave, Steering the canoe, I like. With that, I take them on myself. And I give them the hardest wave you can get. And I don't want to tell them what wave I'm going to catch. I just catch them. The biggest wave I can get. And got to be 6 feet plus.
Right.
But now, You can catch the smallest one you like, and you kept it ready.
Yeah.
It's just before days, but everything got to change. That's all. And then I told one guy, hey, if you're a beach boy, bro, should climb a coconut tree, 100 feet. Let me see you climb that. He said, I can't even climb halfway. I said, you're not a beach boy then. At least I can climb halfway. That was before days. You know?
Right. Right.
And then they cannot even, some cannot even swim, they tell me. They only can go in a certain in feet water, like 5 feet.
Low tide, low tide.
Low tide.
Oh, come on, bro. How are you a beach boy?
Right.
How can you
You're
be a
supposed to
waterman?
trust this person, right?
To
with
save your life.
right?
Yeah.
And they cannot do that.
You can save his life.
Right. Right.
You guys are a big
Yeah.
joke over here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, Mike Sysam, Mike, and then at Fats, all the guys was down by the showers. What had happened that day? Oh, the guy was spit on me. Just all the guy was spit on me, my face. I went to throw the boogie board right on top of his face and whack him in the head. Mike Sysam, he's the best, but he grabbed the guy's neck and shoved him right through the guy. You know that the kind that wreck. He shoved the guy's neck right inside that shook. Oh, I love it, man. Then Fats pull him out, Fats, and pick him up by the neck like that. His friend Fats. Somebody, bro, what you lie to me for? What you spit on my friend for? That was before
That
that.
was old days. Yeah.
Okay, let me pound up for you. I said, nah. Just got a cup. Take them away. They took them away.
Yeah. These days, it feels like it's rare to have even people talk to each other.
Then my
Everybody's
son
in
came
their
on
the phone,
devices,
yeah.
right?
They all came from the Hawaiian village. They came down with his friend. See, when something get on heavy on the beach, it's just like email the thing or write down.
Is there ways to rally support from other, like the Hui guys and all those guys to try and get, more support for beach boys going back on the beach?
Yeah, yeah. They was one of our biggest supporters when this whole thing happened. And I still am in contact with them all the time.
Right.
So I can get a hold of Mahina and have her start doing her thing.
Right, right. Yeah, I think it's time. I mean, like I said, it's been over 5 years. It should have been at least having a conversation, if not,
Yeah,
getting you guys back on the beach needs to be the priority.
yeah.
Right now, everybody making their own, but I know the guy. They've been there long enough, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're licensed before, but they own their own, so I don't say nothing.
Yeah. And it starts from the top down with the leadership from your generation, because you guys learned from the old timers, and keeping that alive is important for this next generation more than ever.
Yep, exactly.
So Aaron, what are some of your, I guess, fondest memories, or what, I always see you and you're so committed and determined to fight for them, but what are some good memories that you have that you want to share? And just
There's a lot of them. But most of it goes back to teaching. Teaching someone who thought, you talk them to do a surfing lesson and they're convinced there's no way in hell they're going to get on one surfboard. You know what I mean? They say, well, I can't even lie on the ground and stand up. How you going to get me on one surfboard? And you get them up on a surfboard. It's,
First time Dive Oahu came inside,
yeah.
they put him on the skate the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
not this way.
Backwards.
It's backwards.
oh my
And it's
God,
all on video. And they were using when drill for
First time I see that guy, man.
shake your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good memory. That's a fun
It
memory.
must have been a painful one too,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that.
Did backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's mostly getting people up on that surfboard
Yeah.
for the first time.
Seeing them happy and have
Yeah.
that experience.
Yeah, that's always good. Even till today, I don't do lessons too much now, but when you do get someone up on that board and or if they got one leg or one arm, stuff like that, and you get them going.
Yeah.
They're never going to forget it.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
What's your thoughts about Aloha Spirit being gone?
It's gone. Over there, it's gone at least. It's sad actually because Hawaii started with was the Beach Boys, right? The whole tourism thing in the 30s and the 40s was.
Yeah.
That's why people came to Hawaii, was to go experience Waikiki Beach.
Right.
So it wasn't about the water park and all these other things. It was that. That was the water park.
It's history.
Right.
Yeah. And then over the years, you're supposed to better something. You're supposed to leave it better than you found it. Right?
It's like
Evolve.
somebody rip your heart right out. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it just, in one swoop of a high bid, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like Merry Monarch is next. That's like the last thing.
Right.
What happens if they start privatizing that and putting it out to the high bidder, and next thing you know, Halal's got to pay to be there, and
Right,
and then they make it about money instead of about tradition and history.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Well, and to your point, and we were talking earlier about how the ocean was one of the last things that I felt Hawaiians had.
Yeah.
You know, because they're losing their land. You
Yeah.
know, the businesses are all coming in, kicking out the small kind of mom and pops, and so a lot of locals are forced to leave. So the ocean felt like, at least if they can still hang on to that,
Right.
you know, there's something there. But now with Dive Oahu, it feels like even that's going. And now, you know, Hawaiian Airlines, right, the merger
Yeah,
that's
with Alaska.
supposed- yeah, with Alaska. So the Aloha Spirit seems like it's going, like you said, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And we need to start investing in trying to get it back.
And for Waikiki, the only way is getting the Beach Boys back on the front line.
Yeah.
You know, we can't.
That's right.
We're on the back street now. It's okay, but we don't belong on the back street.
Right.
You know, our view is the hotel.
Right.
We don't even see the water from where we're at. You know, you got to turn the corner to see the water.
Right.
So they just got to be back on the front lines.
Yeah. Well, and that's where they belong. You know,
Yeah.
that's where they met. The politicians and everything don't get probably one-on-one with people. The Beach Boys did. You know, they were the
Exactly.
ones to share the aloha face to face and leave them with an experience. And if they're not on the beach, they're not able to do that.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for your time
Yeah.
and for sharing your wisdom and the plans to move forward. And we plan to support you as much as we can and get the word out that we need to support by contacting the city
Yeah.
and the mayor's office. So we'll get that information and put that on,
That's good.
The website.
That'll help. Yep.
with this podcast.
Because, you know, in my conclusion, it's not supposed to be Dive Oahu, it's supposed to be Waikiki Beach Boys, because the history goes on and on and on and on, right on the whole island, you know. And people on the beach, working on the beach, they're all related to, you know who they related to, you know. They relate to important people, too, big names people too, you know. And I like to see all the brothers come back. I like to see that, more leadership too. And then, hey, they like scrap, I don't care, you know. Put some blood inside there, you know. But the kind of, but not the kind make trouble kind, no. The kind guys who making trouble for us, they're making us look bad. The kind guys who making trouble, they're not us guys. That's why I think they wanted the Beach Boys out. I mean, I heard that because we was making trouble. No, we wasn't making trouble. I think it's the other guys that are making trouble and make us look bad. The locals look bad. They tell locals.
Right. Well, I think you have to defend what you love. And I think the Beach Boys did that. And then yet they were the ones who also got in trouble for trying to protect what they love.
And you never knew the nicest thing I seen. You know, then we had the trolley. We stopped right by the banyan tree, and the guys gonna sing for us.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So that's time I saw the beach. Kimo Kahoana was MC, and they said the Waikiki Beach Boys, and everybody stand up, clap. And the Lilikoi sisters are singing, I think.
I know, Aki, you've been going back to Waikiki a little bit more, right? And
Hey, you brought me back.
yeah, that was nice. It was fun. So I hope that you get to spend more time there.
I want everything just be fair.
Yep.
But you know how much canoe rides we had? We had more than surfing lessons.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah.
much-
Back then?
We had more canoe rides
Yeah.
than anything else.
Yeah. Now it's like once a week you on canoe
Yeah,
ride.
lucky. Well, because it's
Like
expensive, right?
nine,
Isn't it super
nine,
expensive?
8, 7.
Yeah, it was
9.
all day long. Had
All
loads
day.
backed up. You bring the canoe on the beach after your load. You had 7 people waiting. You don't even push it up. You just stay in the water
They just turn around and
all
keep
day
going.
long.
So Todd said, let's make this faster. I said, okay. We go 2 short, 1 long. Because I know how to do that.
Yeah.
2 short, 1 long.
Yeah.
Next, I go straight up right on the beach.
Yeah.
Everybody jump in, push them right
Push 'em
back
right
out.
back
Let's
out.
go again.
Oh, that
Just
must have been
non-stop.
nice to feel like, because canoe rides are awesome because you're working together.
Yeah, and you can't do that anywhere else in the world.
Right.
You can't catch a wave on a canoe anywhere.
Right.
That's true.
Well, that's what Hawaii's known for.
Yeah.
Right. It was the canoe rides first, and then surfing. Right.
Yeah.
I met all kind of people too, and actors, movie stars. I met everybody.
So, Aaron, you've been on the beach since '88.
I graduated high school, went to school. Me and Fats went to Arizona. I stayed 1 semester. I was like, what the heck is this? Came home, and then I wanted to work on a movie job because my grandpa was running the union. He said, no, you got to go on the beach. I said, what's at the beach? I didn't even know he had the stand. You got to work on the beach. I said, oh. I went to and I never left. It's been the only job I've had my whole life until 2015. I went to work at Hawaiian Airlines on call over there. So that's just how my life ended up.
Right. Would you say it was a great education? To be
Yeah,
on
no,
the
that's
beach?
another thing. My dad was mad at my grandpa because I was supposed to go to continue school. My dad told him, can I swear on this?
Oh, yeah.
He said, he's going to learn more on that fucking beach than any school is going to teach him. So I've been on the beach. And,
Listen, I remember Art telling me this. The union is easier to run than the beach.
yeah.
That's what he told me.
Yeah,
That's what he told me.
Wow,
He used to
wow.
run the IRW.
That says a lot.
yeah.
The unions are more easier than run, than the beach is harder.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Well, you meet 2 million people a year, right?
Yeah.
Easily,
Yeah.
right? That's a lot, and all over the world.
Yeah, and I showed up at the beach and he was already there working. It's like,
We've seen everything.
yeah,
We've seen everything.
Yeah.
Come and go.
yeah.
Teaches you a lot about people.
We've seen fights.
Yep.
We've seen all kind. Preliminary bouts. All kind. We've seen everything. People happy, laughing,
Yeah.
and
Actors, actresses, and singers.
everything. Actors, actresses, sumo wrestlers,
Yeah.
wrestlers. You name them, we've seen them.
Yeah.
Well, it goes to show that
No,
there's
they
a lot.
don't see nobody on the beach like that.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
Waikiki or Beachboys have a lot to offer. People coming all over the world to be here, and you get a great education. Right.
Yeah.
You get some serious life skills.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you teach those to your kids?
Yeah. And I got a lot of them.
Yeah. You have how many kids?
I have 12.
You have 12 children.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But I kind of kept them away, because everybody who was working with us had kids, and they would bring the kids, and then I was getting to the point where it was just too many small ones around. It's not safe, and now they're concerned about their kids, and they're not working. And I said, you guys, I won't bring my kids, so you guys shouldn't bring your kids.
Wow.
Bring them down when you're not working.
Yeah.
And that's basically those guys. They work a half a shift, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other half they bring the kids. And now it's no problem. Now you can concentrate on your kids.
Right. To make sure they're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of my daughters. They work at the shop now. So because I had to go 5 days a week at Hawaiian Airlines, so they're covering my shift on those 5 days, and I work my 2 days off at the airport at the beach. But yeah, they kind of like it. Yeah, they like it.
Yeah.
It wasn't forced into it the way I was. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I was 70, $5 an hour. My grandpa would pay me $5 an hour. I was getting paid. Minimum wage was like $8.
He was harder on you. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah.
So speaking of that, for your kids in the future, being that you have this principle of why
Yeah.
you're doing what you're doing, would you ever consider running for office or getting into politics?
When I was young, funny, because in elementary school, I always thought I was going to be the governor. When I was in elementary school, I thought, I got to watch what I do. I never smoked. I never drank. Going through high school, after our football games, we'd meet at the beach in Kailua. I would bring a 6-pack of juice. Everybody had beer. So I didn't want any skeletons in the closet.
Right.
Because I was going to be governor one day. And I didn't want them saying, Aaron used to drink and he used to smoke and this and that. So
Got
I
your
never
rap
did that.
sheet. Yeah.
So I kept my nose clean my whole life, and then come to it now, and so I always thought about it. I don't know. It's one of those things where people like you before you're in the position, and all of a sudden they don't like you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they want everything to be a yes.
Right.
Well, sometimes you got to say no just as easy as you say yes, right?
Right. Well, I feel like you definitely have, the background with your family You know Hawaii. You have the unity and the principles in mind to make Hawaii great again.
Yeah.
So I could see that for you.
You got a big family, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think the number one agenda is to make sure to get the Beach Boys back on the beach.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time, Aki. It's always good to
No
see
problem.
you, and I'm glad that we were able to talk story today.
Yeah.
And we'll get cracking and get those petitions signed or get those emails
Get
going.
the emails. Flood them with emails.
Yep. Well, thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep.